Thanks, Wendy. Hello and welcome to today's program on digital commerce distribution. Today's free webinar is sponsored by Softheon. I'm Steve Davis, Managing Editor of Inside Health Insurance Exchanges and the AIS report on Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans, both of which are published by Atlantic Information Services in Washington, D.C. For nearly a decade, marketplace disruptions have and continue to revolutionize the health insurance industry. Altering the way many companies operate, these changes, which include the ACA, have allowed for the emergence of new products and distribution channels that could be very advantageous for health insurance carriers. Today we're going to hear about digital commerce and how it's revolutionizing traditional approaches to health insurance. On our panel today are Michael Hendershot, Director of Business Development at Softheon, and Dana Franke, Softheon's Director of Operations. Their full bios are in your materials. You should have received an email containing a web link to the materials. It contains an outline for our program and the slides. If you did not get the packet, please click on the Presentation tab to the left of your screen. You will see a copy of the presentation materials that you can print out. After the presentation, we'll open it up to your questions. And with that, let me hand things over to Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Steve. Thanks. Hello, everyone. We're going to get into the digital commerce distribution today, and that's going to really kind of drill into some good questions. So to start off, I'm going to start off with a brief background on who Softheon is and our focus in the healthcare space. And like I said, that should segue pretty nicely into today's topic on digital commerce. So starting off, Softheon, we were founded in 2000. We're 100% US based and onshore. And we are over 100 employees, and we actually have access to 250 PhDs. So the reason I like to preface that is the picture of the building that's in that column is it's called the Center of Excellence in Wireless and Information Technologies, or CWIT, and it's located on Stony Brook University campus. So we actually work in more of a think tank incubator with a lot of the PhD fellows and computer science staff of Stony Brook, working with helping bridging the gap between technology kind of think tank into making it in enterprise use in some of those proprietary technologies like you see there. In the middle is our newsletter. For those who don't receive it, we can certainly let us know, and we'll make sure to get you on that distribution list. It's just kind of a daily update, heartbeat of the health insurance industry space that we like to provide to really anyone who just wants to get a snapshot of today's information. And then on the right are some of the health plans and innovators that we've been working with for over a decade, for about 16 years now. As well as some of our innovative marketplace health plans as well. So then just kind of moving through, and this next slide here really gives you a breakdown of what Softheon's doing in the cloud space especially for our carriers in healthcare reform and marketplace integration. So our cloud solution is really broken down into 5 core components. There's Gateway, which is kind of our EDI processing and gateway for all types of interfaces, whether it's EDI files, web services, XML. It really doesn't matter on the interface. It's just kind of our gateway platform that is for interfaces going in and going out of our cloud solution. Then there's Remedy, which really covers our enrollment and underwriting components of our solution, especially for ACA particular underwriting and kind of rules. Equity, which is our individual and consolidated premium billing and payment platform. Softheon is a full payment gateway, merchant processing integrated solution where we are receiving payments on behalf of our health plans directly from the consumer or employer. Foundry, which is our big data analytics, is kind of our reporting tools and our analytics tools that we're providing for our carriers. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that and kind of some of the cool things that we're doing with our carriers. And then Clarity is our private exchange solution. So for health plans that want to set up their own kind of single payer private exchange for individuals and small groups for off-exchange solutions is kind of the Clarity piece there. And you can see that fits very nicely right in between marketplaces and then carrier admin systems. And then on the bottom there, I just like to put a focus on that. You can see that we have a heavy focus on security and operational efficiency, high trust, PCI compliant, SSA 16 SOC 2 compliant as well. So those are some of the things that we really like to kind of stress because we know how important it is in today's business world. So going a little bit deeper into the integration and interfaces and how this slide is going to highlight pretty much how we try to minimize integration touch points for our carriers. that are offering plans both in public and private exchanges. You can see here there's a lot of different interfaces going to and from the marketplace. And that gold box on the right just shows what the carrier is responsible for when using someone like Softheon. We built a solution for payers who are looking to offer plans for individuals and small groups. And we just like to really show this slide to show how many interfaces there are and how little our carriers have to do in terms of integrating with other marketplaces. And then this next slide will really illustrate kind of our goal and our focus and show how Softheon becomes in essence a wholesaler for our carriers. Showing you on the left is a list of many different both public and private exchanges that Softheon will integrate with, and then on our carrier's behalf, you can see there we kind of use it as like the root on the left, the trunk of the tree, which is Softheon's cloud solution, and then the branches, which is the multiple different core systems that we've integrated with already. So for us, we're really, we really become in essence the wholesaler for our carriers and for all of the different marketplaces and sales channels that they want to leverage. And again, Softheon is a cloud solution, so it's kind of a new way of thinking that we've been excited about for years now. It shows kind of how much more agile and simplified the process can be, because instead of building an entire solution, you're just going to plug into our cloud, which it's already been pre-configured, it's already built, and for us it's just adding more carriers kind of to the same cloud, to the same operational processes, so we can really speed up implementation times, minimize costs, reduce and streamline. So the next slide here is a Gartner Hype Cycle. Softheon was featured in the Gartner Hype Cycle for healthcare in 2016 in 3 different components. We are one of the vendors for automated premium billing, private exchange technology, and sales channel performance analytics. So we are certainly proud of ourselves for this, because it shows that we're certainly on the cutting edge and we're on the right track, and we, the industry is definitely changing, and we're excited to be a part of that change. And then some of our thought leaders. So Softheon was featured one of the 8 solutions asked to participate in the Private Benefit Exchange Index. We're a founding member of the Private Exchange Coalition, as well as we are this upcoming next month, we're going to be attending and having a presence at the Oliver Wyman Health Innovation Summit, which is a leading edge kind of technology and solutions conference to show kind of where the industry is going. And again, we're happy to be a part of these, or even working with some of these thought leaders. So moving into some of the challenges that are being faced in today's healthcare industry. A big question on insurers' minds is, are premium increases enough to offset losses and keep insurers competitive? So CMS released a report indicating that per member per month claims in the individual market have been unchanged from 2014 to 2015. And premium increases have kept pace with claims costs. So as enrollments continue to grow, the hope is that the continued risk pool improvement for the marketplace will also continue as well. Commonwealth Fund survey recently posted a study showing that 24 million people are still uninsured, and the majority of those people are between the ages of 19 and 34. So with that, and with the tax penalty maxing out this year, the hope and the driver is still that there's going to be more people coming onto exchanges in the coming years, so that number will continue to grow. And that's kind of one of the questions, and one of the questions that we're asking and kind of really looking to and hoping to stay on top of. So the opportunities and kind of what we're going to want to talk about today is going to help us lead into today's focus on digital commerce. Exchanges provide multiple online sales distribution channels for health payers. Public exchanges alone enrolled nearly 13 million people this year, and private exchanges continue to grow as well. So we're expecting that more and more exchanges are going to be playing a bigger role, and all these exchanges being online provides a great opportunity for health plans to kind of increase their sales channels and get as many people enrolled into their plans as possible. And then one more to touch upon is online users are certainly prevalent, and it should be a payer's goal to provide a multitude of avenues and tools to enhance both the engagement and the experience of the consumer. So we want to make sure that we provide as many tools as possible to not only gain their attention, but to continue the experience and make sure that the experience is a good one moving forward. So that's certainly one of Softheon's goals for our carriers, is to make sure that we not only help to engage, but to enhance the experience. So that's it for a presentation for who we are and kind of what we're doing in this space, and now we'll kind of get into some of the topics that we wanted to talk about today.
Great, thanks, Michael. And why don't we get into the topics right now? And I'll kick things off. Topic number 1, how does digital commerce differ from traditional channels? And why don't, Dana, why don't we throw that to you? I guess, what are some of the traditional channels?
So really, traditional channels used paper plan documents to compare benefits, paper applications, physical checks, and snail mail to enroll in coverage. Finding a provider used to take a phone call to a customer service rep, or looking through a provider directory that is outdated the minute you print it. Processing the paper applications took a billing rep to check for completeness and enter the information into a system. And if the application was not complete, the back and forth started between the enrollment rep and the member, and that could take forever. So today, a member can go online, get a quote on multiple plans with different payers, apply for coverage, and pay all in the same step. The application is complete, the data is validated, and the information is only keyed once, cutting down on the errors. Finding a provider in your area, accepting new patients, and fitting your preferences always was a challenge for me. That has become as easy and as efficient as Google Maps.
And to just add to that, Dana, moving into a business-to-consumer kind of business model in today's healthcare has really kind of put the consumer first and foremost, especially from a digital commerce standpoint, where consumers have a multitude of different avenues that they can use. And that's why I think we're going to start to see, and we're continuing to see, growth on these exchanges, both public and private. And kind of and carriers can utilize kind of that wholesaler utilization that we were talking about, where you can have one of your vendors integrate with a multitude of different exchanges.
Great. Moving on to topic number 2, what are the main components of digital commerce distribution?
So for me, coming from an operations background and trying to contain costs, the main components are searching for and comparing plans that are right for the consumer, which is key. And that's with or without a broker. And then enrolling online and paying online to bind coverage. Those are the main components to me.
Michael, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually. So I think some of the main components of digital commerce is device-agnostic platforms. Mobile shopping and kind of mobile experience is continuing to increase. And health plans should really look to not only provide the tools, but also launching kind of marketing strategies through the same type of mobile and user interfaces. I think will certainly help their whole distribution process and making sure that not only their own, per se, exchange, but the other exchanges that they're offering their plans on continue to be successful.
Okay, good. Topic number 3, how has digital commerce revolutionized traditional payer approaches?
So prior to online sales and enrollment, it was a very costly effort to grow your membership base. And in addition, as the membership grows, so does the administrative expense. So providing online tools for quoting sales, provider searches, payment processing, education, and things like claims history changes how a payer provides customer service to a member. There will always be those members that like to talk to someone, need assistance, need an advocate, or just like to pay in cash. but the majority of members are seeking the ability to self-service, and digital commerce provides that opportunity.
Okay, good. And Michael?
Yeah, I would say from a health plan perspective, it has certainly lessened the administrative burden, helping to streamline, automate some of the processes. With higher regulations being put in place, payers are looking to utilize technology to increase bottom line by minimizing wastes and reducing inefficiencies. So I think digital commerce is going to play a big role in helping them do that.
Good. Topic number 4, what role does digital commerce play in customer experience strategies?
So this is a tough question, as it depends on your target market. If you're a Medicare payer, for example, you may focus more on the one-on-one communication and education. You may take an advocate role to improve quality and experience for the member, and use the digital commerce to bolster that experience. But if your target market is younger families or college graduates, digital commerce will be the first point of contact and will be utilized for ongoing communication. In fact, you may never even talk to that member. Payers need to balance that traditional customer experience with the digital alternatives in order to reach the diverse population.
Good. And Michael? Any thoughts on the customer experience?
So I would say it's really becoming a frontline or the gateway to the consumer as far as both education and enrollment. It's really helping health payers reach a greater number of customers through either more targeted marketing initiatives, as well as streamlining the education process. One of the big challenges that for payers, especially at the individual consumer level, is the education, is creating an educated consumer. And digital commerce should help, and it is helping a lot of the kind of helping consumers be more empowered to make the right choices for their healthcare. And again, it's not only getting that engagement, but you need to make sure that the consumer experience end-to-end is a good one, because not only are they going to enroll this year, but they're going to have to do it again next year and the year after that. So you want to make sure that you keep that member retention up by creating a full end-to-end strong consumer experience.
And are there dangers in relying too much on or moving too quickly to digital commerce or digital modes of communication as far as the customer experience goes?
I mean, yeah. So you're always going to have that consumer who wants to make a phone call, who wants to talk to somebody. So you shouldn't move. I wouldn't say you shouldn't discount the old ways of doing things, but I think that you can see a bigger kind of advantage by getting that digital footprint in place and that digital commerce strategy kind of moving forward to make sure that you capture all target markets and that huge number of consumers that are out there, both online as well as through phone and through other types of marketing initiatives and customer service.
Great. Thank you. Let's move to topic number 5. What steps should payers take to design their digital commerce strategy? Dana?
So for me, I think the first steps are to understand their member population. So what do they want, and how do they want to communicate with their payer, and what will make their lives easier and in turn make the payer's lives easier? Then use that information to design an online experience that is easy to understand, and this is key, does not take too much time. People are in a rush, and if it takes too much time, they're going to pick up the phone.
And speaking from a vendor standpoint, I think it's critical that payers understand that digital commerce is not just an IT challenge, but it's a company-wide initiative. The entire organization needs to kind of be on board and ready for moving into the digital world because it's an entirely new way of doing things in this space. And the easier it is to get all stakeholders on board, I think the better prepared they'll be for making the transition into a digital commerce strategy.
Let me move on to our next topic here. Topic number 6. In what ways can digital commerce provide insight into member behavior and trends? Dana?
So data analytics can help marketing strategies and strategic planning. What plans are potential members looking at? Where do they navigate within a website? Where do they live? What networks are they searching? Are they interested in alternative care? And then post-enrollment, how often do they utilize the website? Do they pay online? Do they look at their online EOBs or claims experience? Do they utilize the wellness tools? All of these items can help a company focus on process improvement, wellness initiatives, and plan design for their target market.
Great. Michael?
Yeah, I mean, it's a better use it provides a better use of the data. If you can consolidate your data, you can do so much more in regards to seeing trends, spotting trends, figuring out outreach tactics. With a centralized repository of patient data, i.e. enrollment data, payment information, and claims. So especially speaking from our standpoint, with all of that information, we're able to create member-level P&L sheets. With that type of information, you can see which, you can do it through heat maps, see which counties have the highest utilization to kind of target a marketing outreach education program or strategy. So it's not about just having the data, but it's about using the data. And the more you capture, and again, you can centralize through something like a digital commerce platform, the easier it is to see those trends and the easier it is to kind of really kind of act on those and stay ahead of the curve and kind of adjust your plans, adjust your rates, adjust your outreach tactics as necessary to do so.
Okay, good. Let's move on to topic number 7. Can digital commerce be optimized to help generate a greater portion of total revenue?
So I definitely think yes. I mean, digital commerce is a key component in reducing sales and general expense costs. It can also improve your close rate if a member can pay immediately as the end point of a sale versus waiting to get a paper invoice in the mail and sending a check. It used to be that retaining a member was less expensive than onboarding one, and now onboarding can be just as cost effective as retention.
Any thoughts on that, Michael?
Well, yeah, I mean, so again, as I mentioned earlier, it helps to streamline a lot of your processes, again, because everything is digital. You can create workflows around it. You can really enhance efficiency by utilizing digital commerce. But not only that, you're also increasing your outreach again. So you're adding additional sales avenues, as well as additional platforms for, again, educating that consumer. And that really is that's goal number 1 is kind of grabbing their attention and holding it all the way through until they go from a suspect all the way to a customer. So it can certainly, and then from that aspect, the more you increase membership, the more you educate the member on how to use their benefits, the more you can increase in your revenue and kind of member retention.
Okay, good. And our last topic, how can payers incorporate a greater portion of their business into digital commerce?
So speaking from my carrier background, being a larger carrier or even a small carrier, having the resources to implement this kind of program is huge. So if a payer does not have a digital commerce strategy or their systems don't accommodate those efforts, I would recommend finding a partner who has expertise in the area. Changing the touch point for a customer can be difficult, and implementing these online tools and communication strategies will take time and effort, but it definitely pays off in the long run. And I can say that because I used to be a carrier before I went to Softheon.
Michael, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So again, it's getting back to that company-wide initiative. It'll certainly make a transition into a digital commerce platform a lot easier. Again, if you can get all stakeholders involved, where they can all own a piece and see the value behind it. So it really is kind of selling it internally, just as much. As well, they should look to kind of extend and leverage that technology for consumers as well as employers. And kind of really look to hit a bunch of different target segments. So employers, they're going to use health insurance as an employee benefit, and they want their employees they want their employees really to kind of look at plans as if they're a consumer as well, because they are. And so you can utilize the same convenience and kind of plan selection flexibility as any individual consumer might use. So hitting those different market segments, I think, could also really benefit. Not just looking at it from a consumer challenge, but also from an employer challenge, from a large group challenge. Just utilizing any tools, extending and leveraging them. Really, once you get your internal employees kind of backing it, you can use those tools in any market you're looking to go after. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Excellent. And that's all I have for you, and thank you very much for a great program. Michael and Dana, have a nice day.